Well, the Lions of Texas A&M-Commerce officially became members of the Southland on July 1, making things official 9 months after putting pen to paper on their invitation paperwork. They're reunited with a couple of former conference foes in Lamar and UIW, and they bring plenty of momentum to the start of the football program's Division I era. 8 straight winning seasons, longest such streak in program history. The 2017 national champs ready to go in the Southland Conference for the upcoming season. Thrilled to be joined by head coach David Bailiff. He's a veteran of the Southland. You've done this once or twice. We've also got running back J.T. Smith and linebacker Dee Walker with us. Coach, I'll start here. Welcome back to the Southland. First of all, your time spent with Texas State. You won a title, so you're looking for number 2 in terms of Southland titles. How exciting is this for you to make this transition to Division I with this group of guys? What are you looking forward to most?
You know, it's an exciting time for the entire university to go to a Division I school. Changes the whole optics, I think, of Texas A&M-Commerce. Changes them academically, changes them athletically. I think it's a tremendous move for the university. We have an unbelievable president and Mark Rudin, and this was his vision to lead us to Division I. And we're excited about it. You know, we're going into the unknown conference. We don't know how we stack up, but we know we're going to come in and compete. But it's an exciting time for the entire university. It's an exciting time for the alumnus. There's a buzz around campus. And we're having fun with it. You know, we're looking forward to August 1 when we get into camp, and we're looking forward to Southland Conference play.
First time the Lions are changing conferences since the formation of the 5-team Lone Star Conference. That was back in 1931. Coach, you talk about all the excitement and everything going on here. From a perspective of joining the Southland, just how exciting is it? You mentioned joining a couple of former members in terms of playing a while back, renewing some of those rivalries, and then also getting a chance to compete against some of the very best in the FCS, for instance, a couple, obviously, games on your schedule in non-conference, and then even playing some FBS opponents moving forward.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what, I think the Southland Conference, when I was in it before and now, is probably the strongest FCS conference in the country. The parity, the competition between each university is incredible. I look forward this year, too. We're playing Sam Houston to see exactly, you know, they want it all. We want to know how we stack up against the best. And so, you know, we will learn as we go what kind of football team we have. I think we have a bunch of guys that are going to compete hard. Don't know what that equates into wins and losses, but I know we're going to be competitive. I know they're going to play as hard as they can play week in, week out. And, you know, you really, as a coach, you've never been in such unknown territory. You can watch all the video you want, but until you kick it off against McNeese and Northwestern and Southeastern, and you know, you just don't know. So that increases the anxiety. It also increases the excitement. Yesterday I was with some unbelievable head coaches. You know, I really enjoyed my time in the head coaches meeting with them. Looks like the Southland is loaded with, you know, really good head coaches, and I wouldn't expect anything else. I think Chris, the new commissioner, has done a great job. This is done so professional. You know, it's great for these guys to experience this type of media day. And I applaud everybody at the Southland for what they have done here to really impress, you know, these two young men. They just keep talking about how, Coach, this is just unbelievable. You know, it's eye-opening for us, and we're having a good time with it.
You mentioned there are some uncertainties when you're making a move to this level. One thing that was a certainty last year, D, your guys' defense was unbelievable. Top 5 in terms of rushing, total defense, a bunch of different categories. Tell me about that side of the ball, what we can look forward to with your guys' group moving forward this year.
Yes, sir. This year, I mean, our motto is run and hit. That's what we do. I feel like this year we will have a great year. Last year it was a real good year. Coach Adibi being our defensive coordinator. We played with a lot of physicality, and this year I feel like it would be we would have more of a sense of urgency coming into the Southland Conference. And I'm just glad to be here and glad for y'all to put us in this position to be here. Yes, sir.
JT, you've been around this program for a couple of years now. You get to obviously move up now to Division I, which is pretty special. Tell me a little bit about, just from your perspective, what you're looking forward to most about this transition to playing Division I and getting a chance to now be the marquee running back on a team for the first time.
I'm just looking forward to the competition and the level that we get to compete at, and I just think it'll be fun.
In terms of your background, this is fascinating to me, but we all know what you've been able to do from a track perspective. Division II national champion in the 100-meter dash. You're a two-time national champion. Take us through how the speed translates to football, and just in general how special it is for you to get to compete in both track and play football.
It's a blessing to be able to compete in both sports, especially at such a high level, and it just helped me on the field so much because I just know how to get away from the defenders, and once I'm gone, there's no catching me. So.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
The best way to catch him is to sneak up on him. If he doesn't see you coming, you got a better chance.
I was about to ask you, can anyone keep up with this guy in practice?
Nah, we just play. We play it off.
I was joking with you yesterday. If you did a 100-meter dash, how much room in terms of a head start would you need? I don't know if you even answered that question, but
average person on the team, 30 yards. I say that 30, 25.
That's a bunch for sure.
I need about 70.
Coach, looking at the group you have here entering the Division I era, we were talking about this yesterday with your background. You've coached at the high school level, you coached at the D2 level, the D1 level, FCS, FBS. Tell me the differences. Scholarship-wise, that's obviously something, but now how does it become a little bit different building a roster for an FCS team playing now at the Division I level?
Well, you go up from 36 scholarships to 63, and so it's, to be honest, Division II, you almost need a general manager to keep up with how you stack all the different aid and do things. So I look forward to getting it to 63. It's much easier math when you have those type of numbers, and it's much easier to walk into to high school now and offer a young man a full scholarship versus everything at Division II is a partial, and you try to build on those partials by stacking some academic aid or military service aid. But I've enjoyed every level of football. Always been happy where my feet are. Always been around great young men that inspire you and motivate you. There's not a day that goes by. There's nothing else in the world I want to do but be a football coach. There is nothing else in the world. Been that way for 40 years. I'm excited. I'm as excited as I am today as I was 40 years ago when it started. I didn't realize I had all gray hair, right? Because when I leave in the morning, I'm not a fashion model, so I just comb it over so it looks dark to me. And then you go to the barber and they spray water on it and it looks dark to you. And then I did a press conference and they had me on the big screen. And I went, I'm all gray-headed. I didn't have any idea until they put me on the big screen. But I love what I do, and I want to do this for as long as I can do it, I think I'm 30 years old because I get to hang out with 20, 21, 22 years old. And as long as I love what I do, I'm going to continue to do it. I've loved it at all my stops. I got into college football, thought I was going to see the world, and I've seen different counties in Texas, and that's been a pretty good role. So, we got great things happening at the university. Like I said, we have the finest president I've ever worked for. Got a new athletic director in Eric Coleman that's doing great things for us, and I'm around great young men every day. There's nowhere else I want to be but at Texas A&M-Commerce.
We've talked a little bit about the ability to build programs, and you've done it at the D2 level, at the D1 level. You're one of 4 coaches to make the D1 and D2 playoffs in terms of the FCS and FBS level, and then also win a bowl game. In terms of your success at different spots, Rice had gone a while, hadn't won a conference title. I think it was, 56 years or something along those lines. And Texas State, 26 years. What's it taken from you, and sort of what is your mentality bit of maintaining consistency over the years, regardless of the stop of where you are?
In Texas, you better have a great relationship with the Texas high school football coaches. There's 14,000 of them, and you need to build those relationships. I've always been fortunate to have great coaches work for me. I mean great coaches. I lost 6 coaches this year, but you lose them to the Buffalo Bills and North Carolina and Virginia Tech. And so you completely understand. And you just hire the next group of great coaches. They're out there. You hire the best people you can hire, and you think, you're lucky if you have them for 2 years. But you continue. I'd be more worried if nobody ever hired my coaches, that nobody wanted them. But I was, 6 is the most I've ever lost in 1 year. But I've replaced them with Ronnie Van Clark, who was my O-line coach at Rice. He's the O-line coach for the Tennessee Titans, Buffalo Bills. Curtis Fuller played at TCU, 5-year NFL vet, 12-year NFL coach. The really crazy hire this year was I lost Xavier Adibi to Virginia Tech, and then the linebacker from Virginia Tech, coach that got fired, called me and said, "Hey, you got a job opening at linebacker, and my fiance works at the college football playoffs, so I really need to move to Texas." So, you just get lucky and hire these great guys, and we've had a lot of fun doing it, and they've really. Mike Smith, my new D-line coach, I recruited him at Rice, and you're just thrilled to have these guys, and it's like we've worked together. The longer you're in this, the more people and you just blend a lot faster. When I was a young head coach, it'd take us about a month to make a playbook, and now we can do it in 2 days.
A little bit faster.
Yeah, and computers help.
Dee, Coach mentions all the NFL background of the staff and sort of the way he's gone about building it in that regard. For you guys as a program, I think about being a Division II school, yet having players that are now signing NFL deals, and that's a testament to Coach and the staff he's bringing in. Take me through playing around those guys, a couple of guys this past year who have signed deals, playing with those guys, learning from them, and then knowing that you have a staff behind you who can mold you and get both of you guys ready for the next level.
Yes, sir. Playing behind those guys, we had Cater, Armand. A lot of those guys moved on to the next level. It was a good time to play behind them. I mean, they molded a big route for us. I mean, they opened up doors that I guess we didn't have a lot before. They did what they did, but I feel as if it was a good thing that we needed. It was a good thing we needed for them to come through and show our younger guys the route, and I feel like they've done it because it's things I've gained from them. Just, coming from SEC school to coming here, I've gained a lot from coaches, players, everybody's really on the staff.
You've been around football a long time, started off at Arkansas. I know you're a Georgia native initially. Take us through just kind of your journey to get into this point a little bit, what it's taken to become the player you are and where you want to kind of go this year, what it's going to take to get better as a player.
Yes, sir. Just really stability, keeping God at first, man, talking to great people, and just keeping my head on a straight line. Yes, sir.
JT, kind of same question to you. We were discussing your track prowess and what you did. It was a couple years off for you from track. You started off in JUCO. You jumped back into it and immediately have had success back-to-back, winning a couple of national titles. How were you able to do that? How were you able to have so much success hopping over after a couple years off from track?
I can't give any credit to nobody but God. I just believe that I was just blessed with a talent that's very rare, and usually when a guy takes 5 years off from a sport like track, it takes some time to get back into the groove, but I was just blessed to be able to come back into it how I left it, so thankful for that. Ready to see what comes next.
Now, for you as a running back this year, what are some of your goals? How are you going to improve now as the lead back heading into the season?
My goal is to just make a point or make a stand and just start a foundation for the younger guys to look up to and just do my best.
Coach, personnel-wise, looking at both sides of the ball, are there certain strengths you're seeing early on? Are there certain position groups that you're really liking? Take us through a little bit what you're seeing personnel-wise entering this season.
Yeah, I think defensively I feel really, really good about our D-line has nice depth, our linebackers has nice depth, our secondary has nice depth. We've got 4 guys at quarterback that we don't know. Jagger LaRue, who transferred in from Ohio State at the end of spring, was a little ahead of Giave and Zadok Dinkelman and Eric Rodriguez. So we've got to hone in on one guy and make sure he gets more reps. But our biggest concern, we graduated 4 in the offensive line last year. So we're rebuilding an offensive line, and that's why it's exciting to have a guy like Ronnie Van Clark there that's got that kind of experience, because that's right now, even leaving spring, we've got to improve in the offensive line. We've got some nice tight ends, got nice receivers. It's the old lines is where we got to make sure we get good, and we've got some nice young talent there. They just don't have a lot of game reps.
Mm-hmm. We're going to open it up for Q&A here as well. So if you have a question, raise your hand, state your name and affiliation. I think we've got one right over here.
Robert Kelly. Yes, it is working. Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Robert Kelly, Tech Sport Publications. Coach, did you have any plans, or did you do anything changing different conference, different division this year. Does it affect how you set up your game plan, or what you're going to do in practice, how you coach?
Not so much game plan.
Maybe that wasn't the right word, but
yeah,
your overall
football's
structure for the workouts.
Football's football. Where it does change you in your roster management is you're going up in numbers scholarship-wise. And two, with APR and GSR, now like even your walk-ons need to graduate. And so it's critical that you recruit great student athletes that are going to graduate, so it doesn't affect your scholarship or your rosters. So, other than really, every transcript tells a story, so you pay really close attention to those transcripts and make sure you're signing young men that you really believe are going to be great ambassadors and they're going to graduate for you.
Coach, Charlie Chitwood with KETR Sports and the Lion Sports Network. Coach, you had all those replacements to make on the defensive side. Your new DC, how much did you tell him what you wanted done, and he brings his own style?
Each coach is going to coach their own style, but we're going to, I learned all my football from Gary Patterson defensively, and so we're committed, we're going to commit to a 4-2-5 because that's what I know the best, but you let them bring in some new language and new verbiage and some of their own. If you just keep doing the same thing over and over, everybody figures out what you do. So it's good to bring in some new coaches with fresh ideas and let them put in some of their own plays and style. And I think it's really worked well with the new defensive coaches we all have. I think Dee will tell you, they love them and they're celebrated. So we're having a good time. I'm not. Like I said, my biggest concern is that offensive line, and I think with Coach V, we'll get that up to where it's a very solid performing unit by the first football game.
Any other questions for Coach right now? I think we got one over here.
Coach, Matt Fay, Beaumont Enterprise. I asked the commissioner earlier just about rivalries in the league. Is there a team or program that you kind of see matching up as building a relationship and kind of love to hate sort of situation with a team in this league?
Not yet, but it's coming. I know when I was at Texas State, McNeese was the team that was always the circled on our schedule. But our players don't know this conference yet, and we don't know this conference yet. And it's going to be somebody. Is it going to be Houston Baptist? Is it going to be Southeast? There's going to be that red letter game. But right now we're just going in it with our eyes wide open, trying just to be competitive in each and every week and see where we are, when the game's over. We're not under any illusion that we're going to come in here and, win every game by 40 points. We're going to have to earn our way in this conference and earn our stripes, and that's what we intend to do. And I'm sure after this season, these guys are going to say, you know what? These guys robbed us. These guys, these are the guys we're going to get, and so those things are built, and they're not there yet, but they're coming.
You're referring to whoever you're going to need revenge on the following year from a loss?
It's coming. That's just human nature that, those rivalries
or maybe some other people will be after you if you guys don't lose any games.
I think it's wonderful, though. I think FCS should always be a regional conference. And I think the fact that, we've got Houston Baptist in there and Lamar, and a lot of these kids, the players, they'll all know each other because they go to camps, and that even accelerates rivalries and things when somebody has been at camps and you don't offer them and they go to Lamar or they go to Houston Baptist or Southeast. So, it's a good time for us. And like I said, it's just eyes wide open, and we're going to do our best. And, it was hard just to bring these two. There was a whole bunch of guys on the team that you thought about bringing. I finally settled in. I thought, well, who's the two best looking? And so I finally settled in on the two best looking. So it really had nothing to do with their athletic ability. It was all their looks. That's why I brought them.
I'll take it.
Oh, man. Coach, and to you guys also, JT and D, let's go through your schedule a little bit. You open up September 1. You'll play your first game, and at least as a Southland team, it'll be against Lincoln. Southland Conference opener won't be for a little while after that against Southeastern on the 8th. What are you looking forward to most when you look at that schedule? in terms of the opponents you guys have? Any of you guys?
I'm just looking forward to going out and competing. We don't really know what the teams have like prepared for us or anything like that. We're just going into it with open mindset and just ready to work and ready to compete.
How exciting is it, Dee, to play now in some new environments, get to go to a place like Sam Houston and Huntsville, get to explore some of these other places in Louisiana when you're used to playing some schools in different states? Obviously, you're mostly in Texas.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, just like JT said, I'm just ready for the competition, man. It's new to me. I've been in now 3 different conferences out through my career, and I'm just ready to adventure throughout this conference, man.
Must be interesting for you now, returning to the Southland. You got some new faces in there and that sort of thing. And like we were talking about, you get to rebuild some rivalries.
You know, when I was the head coach at Texas State, really, McNeese was the greatest place to come play because their fans were crazy, okay? And so our fans were, after a game, our fans were kind of complaining about the McNeese fans. They said, Coach, we went and got a policeman because to try to settle them down. He said, a policeman just looked at us and said, they doing what they supposed to be doing. He said the policeman wasn't a whole lot of help. And, you know, you look forward to that coming back, you know. McNeese was such a great setup, and I understand the hurricane got it a little bit, but that was such a great college environment when you would pull in there on the buses and they would moon you, you know, and they had the RVs all set up. And, you know, it was great. And I look forward to it again. You know, I look forward to getting into Hammond and McNeese and Thibodeau. And it'll be great for these guys to see new venues and meet new people and play new people. And that's what's so exciting is just the unknowns, you know, that we're walking into. And I do have a little history, and like I said, I just laugh. I will always think my first time as a head coach pulling into McNeese saying, oh, I don't think I've ever seen that. No, hell, I want to come here and tailgate one day. You know?
Well, we've heard all about your background, obviously, Coach, being a Texas guy. I think I heard someone, I don't know if it was a podcast or radio show, someone refer to you as the Kevin Bacon of Texas college football.
I have not heard that.
Let me ask you guys something real quick before we wrap. Tell us something we don't know about Coach. I don't know if let's try to keep it PG if we can, but anything we don't know, because we've heard a lot about him.
I've only been here 10 months, so I mean, I know him as a great guy. I know that.
Okay.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
You prep these guys for the answer, huh?
Yeah, great guy.
What would you say is the funniest thing he does, or if you had anything like that?
Just being David Bailiff. I mean, he's just himself, man. Great coach. That's all I can really say.
Just be good to them and love them. Yeah. Treat them like your own.
Like men. Treat us like men.
And love them and hug them and work them hard, and great things happen.
Final quick thing for you. These two guys included, but when you're looking for leaders on your football team and now having a lead at the Division I level, what sort of qualities are you looking for? And I assume both of these guys have that.
Well, you know, one of the things you're looking for are they easy to give up their time. If you ask for a volunteer, whose hand's going up? Because if your hand's not going up to volunteer and you're not a service leader, you're not a leader. And so these guys put the team first. If I ask for volunteers for anything, their hands are going up. You know, we have too many hands go up when we ask for volunteers. But that's the first thing, you know, I look at is service to your team, is love to your team. And, you know, this guy, both of them actually, he's excited for the offense like I've never seen, even at practice, you know, and JT's jumping around for the defense. And so I think we have a really nice culture right now of team first, of really loving the locker room. You know, the magic doesn't happen if you don't love each other. Love's the most underused word in football, but when your players fall in love with each other and they handle their own problems and nothing hitting my desk, you win a lot of football games. That's true. And they make great memories, and that's what you figure out too. Is, you know, life's about memories. I still go back to where I can to my reunion with my football team, and we chop up all the stories. And, you know, 10 years from now, we want this to be a great experience for them at A&M-Commerce, where they're back. I think they're both going to be wealthy. So I would anticipate the J.T. Smith indoor. Well, I'm serious.
For real.
I would anticipate. What are you going to build? A big weight room?
Whatever you call it.
The Dee Walker weight room.
Statue out in front.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we expect big things. now and later, So y'all got to be rich, and I want indoors and bigger weight rooms.
Yes, sir. Your call, man.
Well, hey, we appreciate all you guys.
Thanks.
Welcome to the conference officially. Coach David Bailiff, linebacker Dee Walker, JT Smith, the running back. We're going to take a break here and then move on with HBU. We'll talk to the Huskies next. Head coach Vic Shealy, wide receiver Vernon Harrell, linebacker Brennan Young will join us. Southland Conference Media Day presented by BuyB1.com here on ESPN+.